Upcoming guest is giving a very funny look, wondering what he walked
what did
into
he
here.
Before this, he said, "You can ask me about anything," and I was like, "Don't tell me that because I'll take advantage of it." No, Mike Pritchard is here, of course, VSiN NFL lead analyst, and we remember your amazing NFL career, former first-round pick of the Atlanta Falcons. But now you're kind of have more of a bit of a betting lean, obviously working for VSiN. So, Mike, which way are you? Oh, yeah, no,
I
show him the photo.
I gotta see this. Okay, wait a minute.
That was Brady today.
We're showing Mike Tom Brady in his tighty whities on a bed overlooking the ocean.
That's not the photo I was thinking of. Like I'm thinking he was standing up or doing something kind of like when he first got drafted. Remember at the combine?
Right.
He was in his shorts, recreation of that. And his body was going to look similar, I think, right? But no, I didn't expect that pose or that. I didn't.
Well,
I didn't expect that image.
You think I can pull it off?
Maybe.
That was a long pause.
That was like the Earth stopped rotating for a second before you answered that.
Maybe.
Wow.
That's being generous.
Overly generous.
Yeah. All right, Mike, what's your lean for the game? Just from the betting angle, which is what you're doing now for VSiN, I mean, where are you leaning right?
Well, right now I'm leaning towards the Eagles, but people are starting to convince me to take the Chiefs to make a bet on them. But I do have a bet already in pocket. With Miles Sanders to win MVP. It was 30 to 1 at the time.
Wow.
30 to 1 at the time. It's come down. I think it's 22 to 1. Shop around for that. I also have anytime touchdown for Miles Sanders. I think he's underrated. I think he's been overlooked because of Jalen Hurts and how great he has been. A.J. Brown, just a great name and a great matchup for the Eagles. Dallas Goedert, phenomenal tight end too, and then Devontae Smith. I mean, you kind of forget about that prime running back in Miles Sanders. So I thought there's some value there with him.
Yeah.
Now, typically you think of Super Bowl MVP, it's always the quarterback.
Right.
But I was at the Eagles-Niners game, and there is no doubt that the quarterback was not the MVP of that game.
Right.
I like that. I'm an Eagles fan, full disclosure.
Okay.
I like that strategy of pounding the run, even if it's not working, to keep the ball out of Mahomes' hand.
Absolutely. I think they're going to have to do that. And that's their DNA. That's what they want to do. And they play with 6 eligibles. And so Jalen Hurts is also a running back at times, right? And that's hard to defend. If you can get all of those elements working at the same time, I don't know how the Chiefs are going to stop the Eagles that way.
You know, it's funny, Mike, because you're a former wide receiver, I wanted to get your thoughts on this while we're talking about the Eagles skill guys. Let's stay on it. And A.J. Brown, 7 catches for 50 yards on 14 targets through 2 playoff games. Not a lot.
No.
You know, we were theorizing, like, you know, he was frustrated on the sideline during the, the divisional round, right, against the Giants. What do you see wide receiver to wide receiver? Is there something going on?
I saw that he was frustrated. I mean, anytime a coach has to go up to you and pat you on the back when you're winning and dominating, there's something wrong. I mean, you know, as wide receivers, we always want to make a play, and we want to make a big play. And I think Jalen Hurts overthrew him. In which he was open, and maybe, you know, that settles in a little bit and he gets frustrated by that. But yeah, I mean, the Eagles, they just have been crushing their opponents so far in the playoffs, so they haven't had to rely on that aspect of their offense.
Well, I foolishly bet over 4.5 receptions for A.J. Brown last week.
That was a good bet. I think that was a good bet.
Well, Sirianni fed him 2 screen passes in the first drive. Or no, well, I think anyway, 2 short passes.
Right.
Then he had 2 short passes the next drive. Then he dropped. They missed the long pass, and he had 2 drops in a row. And I actually worried that his confidence might be a little shaky.
Well, it's not confidence more so than frustration, though, right? I mean, you're not forgetting that drop, or you're not forgetting for the fact that you're not heavily involved into the offense. I mean, he's saying all the right things. You know, he got brought to the team to help them get to the Super Bowl and win a championship. So I think he's trying to uplift his own confidence, if you will, because he just hasn't been instrumental in the game plan. But they haven't had to use him. I think they're going to have to in this game, though.
You think that they're going to have to pass the ball a lot to win this game?
I do. I think, you know, running the football is something that the Eagles can do. They'll establish it. Yeah. But Patrick's going to score, though. And to your point, Maggie, about how, you know, they've been running away with these games in the playoffs. It's like, if this is a closer game, a more competitive game, then you're going to have everybody making plays. And I think Patrick Mahomes is that caliber of a player to kind of make this game a close game.
Okay, on Mahomes, I know he's hurt,
right?
Obviously, and
everybody's hurt.
I know the Eagles are a great pass rush team. Why does, and not just me, against logic, I think a lot of people expect Mahomes to have a big game. Maybe if you go over, even though it's illogical to say that because he's heard the Eagles have been chasing quarterbacks left and right. But I don't know what it is. This is an Eagles fan speaking. He's Patrick Mahomes. I feel like he's going to come up with something magical here.
Yeah, you said that twice that you're Eagles fan.
Stay here much longer. He brings it up every second.
I'm going to need my calculator here pretty soon. No, you know, he is Patrick freaking Mahomes. That's who he is.
There you go.
And he is incredible. He really is. I mean, the respect that he has already. He's since he's been a starter, he's been to AFC Conference Championship games, right? And Super Bowls. So I think he can have a whale of a game. I think he can have an outstanding football game. But a lot of things have to happen. They have to protect him from that pass rush. They're going to have to run the ball a little bit in the red zone to help out the passing situation, score touchdowns. And then he's going to have to avoid tweaking that ankle.
Yeah.
You know, and that could happen on any play now.
So, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I just say related question. Travis Kelce, the kid, you know, he was. How many catches did he have that game? 19 or something? Whatever. 14. It seems obvious to me that if you're a defensive coordinator, you take out Kelce. That's the first thing you do.
You can't, though.
Is that why he still keeps producing?
Yeah, because they move him around. So they'll move him at wide receiver, they'll move him at H-back, they'll put him at tight end, they'll move him in the backfield at times, but then also they'll put him in motion. So if you're a defense, you know, you have to set your defense. You can't move like an offense moves. Like an offense can shift and move and change strength and all that stuff. As a defense, you're often reacting to that. So if you start to mess with your defense and, okay, that's my guy, and then that's my guy, and then all of a sudden there's confusion, and then there's a breakdown. So the Chiefs are very good at creating that scenario and that situation for defenses, and that's why I say you can't stop Travis Kelce.
Mike Pritchard is our guest. He's the lead analyst for the NFL for VSiN and obviously former wide receiver. So in terms of props or anything like that, Kelce overs are probably, you know, those might not be great value.
They're taxed.
They're going to be really, really high. Of course, they know the public loves and knows Kelce.
Right.
But in terms of another skill position player, I mean, we're seeing Isaiah Pacheco is obviously a big name, but maybe MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Who do you see as good value for Chiefs?
I think for the Chiefs in particular, Pacheco, what is his receiving yards? Last time I checked was like 14.5, I think. I think it's climbing, though.
Yeah.
Because people are starting to pay attention. Juju Smith-Schuster might not be healthy enough, right?
Yep.
He's a great possession receiver for the Chiefs. So where are the Chiefs going to get possessions from and some potential big plays? And I think Pacheco could be that guy. That's value, too. There's value on it. It's not an inflated number. Valdez-Scantling, he's a big play receiver, I believe. He had a great game in a conference championship, but we don't consistently see that type of game from him. So I would lean heavily, though, on Pacheco.
On Pacheco.
Yeah.
Okay. We have like 30 seconds left.
Oh, yeah. Over, under, it's really high. I saw 50.5 today. You almost have to score every possession there, but still, it's Patrick Mahomes.
Well, you do, but the Eagles can score, and I think Patrick is that great of a player to help the Chiefs score as well. I like the over.
You do like the over.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a couple little nuggets there. Mike Pritchard, good enough to join us on VSiN's lead NFL analyst. Of course, love watching you play, Mike, too.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for making time for us here
Thanks
today.
for having me.
Absolutely.